today in child's pose, finding our knees either right underneath us, or if we want to create a little extra space for our torso and our chest, totally acceptable. But slowly starting to melt our way to the earth, perhaps starting on our forearms, perhaps allowing our head to hang heavy, or bringing our foreheads down to our fists or hands immediately. It depends on how we feel. To settle into the space, to settle into our bodies and the rhythm of our breath. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and letting it out through the mouth. Big deep breaths in, filling the rib cage. Getting a sense of the energy rushing through us. Noticing if we feel light or heavy, active or still. And let's start by thinking about things that we're grateful for. 3 things that we're grateful for right now in this moment. And perhaps setting an intention for our practice today, full of curiosity and a sense of honor for the state of our bodies and minds. Focusing on the state of our body, to be present in the moment. And while our minds might drift throughout our practice, we recognize that, we make note of it, and we bring our minds back to the physical sensations as quickly as we're able to. Bringing ourselves up into all fours. We're going to start with gentle cat-cows. Bringing our knees under our hips and our hands underneath our chest and our shoulders. Starting with our tailbones. Slowly starting to lift the tailbone, pressing the earth away and lifting our chest and our gaze. Exhaling, rounding the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time, lowering our head to our arms. And repeating this motion, slow and steady. Using as much flexion as our bodies crave. Moving to the rhythm of our breath, extending the breath. Maybe holding the breath at the top and at the bottom. Starting to slow the breath and our thoughts. Do 2 more just like that. And we meet up in neutral. Taking a deep breath in to reset in between. And then we're going to start with a lateral roll, coming side to side, rounding the entire torso through the shoulders and hips, laterally swaying the torso. Big breaths in, Spreading the breath throughout the entire torso, chest, upper back, lower back, abdomen. Finding a rhythm and speed that suit us. Breaking up old patterns, moving the energy around in ways that we don't usually, to break up the energy, break up tension and tightness, and unlock any blockages that we may be holding. And then we'll switch directions, nice and high, pressing into the shoulders. Starting to feel warmth generating in our bodies. Slow and steady rhythm of breath in and out through the nose. Activating our parasympathetic nervous system. Finding balance between our systems of stress, calm, and repair. Two more big breaths here. And then again, we meet up in neutral. Deep breath in between to reset. Curling our toes under our shins, we inhale, and on the exhale, we'll step up into a down dog. Taking a few moments here to pedal it out, to shift our weight, to find some fluidity. Checking in with all the yummy sensations in our bodies, listening to hear what our body is telling us. Slowly starting to move the energy, unlocking tension all the way through the back body. Two more big breaths here. Finding stillness in our dog at the end of this next exhale. Pressing both heels towards the earth. We're going to lift our left leg off the mat, bending the knee, and just slowly work into the hip, making big circles. Switching directions. Not worrying about what we look like. This may not be the most fluid of motions, and that's all right. We just want to get a sense of how we're feeling, how we're moving. Good. Extending our left leg all the way up, bending the knee, rotating the hips, open, pressing into the right hand. Pressing away, not collapsing into the right arm. Finding length. Maybe even coming up on the fingertips of the left hand. Pressing tall, creating space in the left side body. Good. Rotating our hips back to center, bringing our left foot back to the earth, pedaling it out. 3 deep breaths in between. And then we'll do the same thing on the right side. So lifting our right foot, bending the knee, going and moving through the hips, making big circles. Letting our heads hang heavy. And we'll switch directions. Perhaps a different type of motion or fluidity on this side. Noticing our stability. And then we'll extend the right leg high, pressing all our weight into the left foot, bending the knee, opening the hips, rotating and stacking the knee on top of the hips, pressing our weight into the left hand, slowly starting to open the right side body. Big breaths here, maybe coming up on the fingertips of the right hand. Two more breaths. Now we rotate back to center, lowering our right leg back down, and we pedal it out. 3 breaths here. Good. Resetting. We're slowly going to walk to the front of our mats. Tiptoes all the way up, bringing our feet to our hands. We're in Uttanasana, forward fold. Bending our knees, bringing our arms down, grabbing the inside of our elbows, tucking our abdomen to our thighs, and allowing our heads to hang heavy here. Slowing the rhythm of our breath, in and out through the nose. Good. Allowing the arms to hang, grabbing onto our big toes with our peace fingers and our thumbs. Using our biceps, we're going to slowly start to work into the back of our hamstrings. Keeping our torsos elongated, bringing our chest toward our thighs, and then on the exhale, we're going to slowly start to press our knees back. Breathing into upper back and neck, slowly pressing our knees back. No expectation. Using those biceps to draw our torsos and the crown of our head closer to the earth. Good. Releasing there. Inhale, halfway flat back. Drawing the shoulder blades in and back. Exhale, forward fold, keeping those knees bent. Inhale, we sweep our arms all the way up. Extended mountain holding here. Palms can be together or they can be stacked over top of our shoulders. Gentle bend of the lower back. Lifting the chest, opening the abdomen. Good. Swan diving forward, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing our hands to the earth, we'll step back with our left foot all the way down, lowering our knee and our foot to the earth, bringing our hands to our right thigh, slowly starting to sink our hips forward, melting towards the earth. Option to stack the arms over our shoulders. Kali Mudra optional, making a pistol with our hands if that feels good. Either finding somewhere to gaze at or maybe closing our eyes, finding that stability from within. Good. Hinging and releasing our hands back to the earth, Stepping our feet back, plank pose, gentle chaturanga, and cobra, allowing our torso and our abdomen to come to the earth. Inhale, pressing the earth away. Exhale, we lower, curling our toes, stepping back, plank, down dog. 3 breaths in between. And then we'll walk our feet back up to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Extended mountain. Holding here, allowing the lower back to slowly unlock. Lifting our chest, opening our abdomen. Now we swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Right. Stepping back, right foot, low lunge. Bringing our hands to our thigh. Letting our hips sink forward. Slowly melting to the earth. Finding stability here. Option to float our arms over our shoulders. Kali Mudra. Eyes open, closed. Whatever works for us. Tall torso, elongating the sides. Strong, steady rhythm of breath. Hinging forward, planting the hands, stepping back, plank. Vinyasa, optional. Upward facing or cobra. And we meet up in down dog. 3 breaths here. Right. And we walk or float to the top of our mat. Maybe we start to add floating into our practice. Bending the knees, pressing into the hands. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, extended mountain. This time, grabbing the left wrist, reaching tall, and over into a side bend to the right. Reaching, breathing through the side body, through the hip, into the lower back. Finding grounding of both feet. Back to center. Swooping our arms down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back, left foot. Lowering all the way down. Pressing our left hand into the mat, lifting our back foot, reaching around. Option to grab onto the foot. Drawing the heel into the glute. Tall torso as we press the earth away. Gentle rotation, looking over our right shoulder. And we release the back foot. Bring our torso back to center, plank vinyasa. Our speed. Meeting up in down dog, taking our few reset breaths. Good. Walking or floating to the top of our mat. Getting a little lighter each time. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Side bend, opposite side. Reaching for the right wrist, reaching tall. Finding our grounding, and then over to the left. Keeping the torso stacked over the hips. The hips are engaged. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. We're not pushing too far, too fast. 2 more breaths. And come back to center. We swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the right leg. Low lunge, planting our right hand, top of the right foot. And we rotate back, lifting our right foot off the earth, finding stability, reaching towards or for the foot, and then slowly drawing the foot towards the glutes as possible. Tall torso, pressing the earth away, lifting our chest, looking over the left shoulder. One more breath. Releasing our back foot, turning our torso back to center, plank vinyasa, curling our toes under. And we meet up and down dog, resetting here. Option to stay in down dog, option to come into child's pose at any time. Good. Walking or floating to the top of our mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Palms together, opening the abdomen. Gazing up towards our palms. And we swoop forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back, left foot. Staying high this time. Planting the back foot. We're in this type of warrior. We're straightening the front leg. Pyramid pose. Wiggling, finding stability. Option to lift our hands and bring them to our thighs. Option to keep them firmly planted. Elongating the spine with our inhalation. And on the exhale, we slowly hinge over that right leg. Working through the hamstring of the right leg. Good. Inhale, pressing the torso parallel to the floor. Bringing our hands down, bending our right knee, stepping back, plank vinyasa. And meet you in down dog. Good. Walking or floating to the top of our mat. Bending the knees, gazing forward, stepping up. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Reaching our arms all the way up. Palms are together, gazing up again. Noticing what's happening in the lower back. And our breath. Good. Swan diving forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back, right leg planting the back foot and straightening the front. Pyramid pose, finding stability between both legs. Option to bring our hands to our thigh, elongating the torso. And then hinging forward. Finding our hands wherever they fall naturally. Breathing length into the back of the left leg. Good. Inhale, pressing our torsos parallel. Bending our left knee. Plank vinyasa optional. Meeting up in down dog. Three big breaths here. And then we float or step to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. This time, hands to heart center. We're going to flow through some of our squats, so opening our feet a little bit wider. Good. Sinking into our squat. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, we ragdoll up, stacking our vertebrae, shoulders, neck, and head. Rolling our shoulders. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Opening our abdomen. Exhale, we sink down, squat. Inhale, forward fold. And exhale, we roll ourselves up. Resetting. Inhale, we sweep our arms up. Exhale, we sink. Finding a flow that suits our breath and our body. No worries if you're not in sync with me. We need to do what works for us in this moment. We'll do one more. Coming all the way back up, all the way back down, holding our Malasana squat. Walking our feet out as needed, pressing our elbows into our thighs, elongating the torso. Dynamic tension through the upper body. Chin is parallel to the floor. Good. Bringing our left hand down to the earth in front. Opening the right. Lifting the right arm tall. Noticing the sensations in our lower back and side body. Two more breaths. We lower our right hand, replacing it where the left was. Opening up to the left side, breathing again into any sensations through our side body and lower back. Two more breaths. We bring our left hand down, bringing both palms together. Once again, pressing into the thighs, tall torso, elongating here. And once again, we inhale, forward fold. And exhale, all the way up like a rag doll. Inhale, reaching our hands up. Palms are together, opening our abdomen. Good. Swan diving forward. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back with the left foot. Crescent lunge here. We're up on the toes of the left foot. We sweep our arms all the way up. Inhale, reaching the torso top. Pressing the quadricep of the left leg back. Engaging. Finding stability in our right foot and left toes. Good. Bringing our hands to heart center. And we rotate into a prayer twist over the right thigh. Option to stay up on the left toes or flattening the foot, whatever grounds us the most. Pressing into the right hip. Elongating the torso as we press our left elbow into our thigh. Good. Pivoting back to center, plank vinyasa. Optional, of course, meeting up in down dog. Paddling it out or finding stillness, whatever suits us at this time. Good. Either walking or floating to the top of our mats. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Palms together, reaching up. And we swan dive forward. Once again, inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold, stepping back, right toes up on the toes, crescent lunge. When we find our stability, we sweep our arms up over our shoulders, elongating the torso, pressing into the right quadricep, straightening the back leg, pressing into the ball of the foot, grounding of the left foot, toes gripping into the mat. Good. Hands to heart center, and we rotate over the left knee, pressing our elbow into the outer edge, and elongating the torso. Noticing what's happening in our left hip. Finding somewhere to gaze at, or even repeating an affirmation in our minds for any wobbles. We rotate back to center, optional plank vinyasa. Meet you in down dog. Stepping or hopping, floating to the top of our mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a deep breath in between here. Inhale, we sweep the arms up. Exhale, we swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back, left leg Crescent lunge, bringing our hands directly to heart center and lowering all the way down. Good. Flattening the left knee and the left foot. We're going to extend our right leg long. Hinging over top of that right leg. So starting with a tall torso, deep breaths in. Slowly hinging. We don't have to go far to light up the back of the right leg. So let's go gently, finding support with our leg, keeping our hips forward facing. Keeping our toes flexed and pointed to the sky, working through the hamstring, the calf muscle into the ankle and the Achilles. Finding our hands on the earth if and when they get there. Option, of course, to find blocks. Ensuring that we're not sinking too far, too fast in any of our poses today. Noticing the energy shift in our right leg. Good. We're going to press ourselves back up, flattening our right foot, bending the knee. We step up. We're in our lunge pose here, and we're going to shift our weight to the left into a skandasana, staying high or sinking down as the inner thigh allows. Finding our stability here, option to find grounding with our hands, to float the hands up, pointing and flexing the toes, optional if we've sunk this far already. Not worrying about what others can do, just what we need. Honoring our body. Maintaining stability of our body and mind. Excellent. Pressing our hands into the earth, pressing ourselves into a wide angle forward fold. The feet are either in train tracks or pointed out a little bit, hanging heavy in between our legs. Pressing our torso parallel to the floor. We pivot back over to the right, coming back into our lunge, plank vinyasa, meeting us in down dog. Taking our few breaths in between here. Good. Stepping, hopping, or floating to the top of our mat. Ever suits us. Getting to the top, inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold, sweeping the arms up. Inhale. All the way up, opening the abdomen. Good. Swan diving forward. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back, right leg. Crescent lunge, finding stability, hands to heart center. And we slowly lower down, tapping our knee to the earth, the right foot to the earth. And then we extend our left leg long. Hips are facing forward, toes are pointing up. Deep breaths in, and we hinge forward. Slowly melting into the back of the left leg. Maintaining a flat back, neutral spine. Our hands will float to wherever they will naturally. Again, we let go of any competition or expectation. Noticing the shift of energy, small micro releases of blocked energy and tension. Excellent. Flattening our front foot, coming back into our lunge. Good. Lifting our back knee by curling the toes under. Shifting our weight forward and coming into our Skandasana, opposite side. Once again, either staying high and supported, working into that inner thigh, lowering down as and when possible, and keeping our toes of the right foot flexed, finding some form that works for us, that maintains our stability and presence in this moment. Tall torso. Breathing into the inner thigh. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Excellent. Bringing our hands back to the earth, pressing up, wide angle forward fold. Maybe we sink a little bit deeper this time. We're going to slowly shift our weight left to right, working through the hips, breaking up a little bit more tension. Squatting, shifting laterally as we feel. Again, not worrying about what we look like. We're in the presence of our own home. It doesn't matter. We just want to flow the way our body craves and needs. Maybe we even shift our torso slightly, opening up the lower back a bit more, whatever feels good. Finding fluidity. Good. 2 more breaths. And we come back to center, pressing our knees back, allowing our torso to hang heavy. The head has no tension on it whatsoever, and we're not holding tension in our jaw. Just allowing everything to melt through the crown of the head. Good. We're going to twist ourselves all the way into fire logs, pressing our torso parallel to the earth, and we're going to twist, 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 twist all the way around until we have our legs stacked on top of one another. I'm going to shift so I can see you. Option to grab a sip of water. Bringing our feet to the sides, flexing them. If we can stack the knees on top of one another, great. If not, we find whatever works for our hips today. We're going to inhale, reaching our arms up, and exhale, hinge forward. Only so far as that sit bone stays connected to the earth. Melting over. Maybe shifting the legs around a little bit to see where that yumminess is and what pose will help us release tension and gain flexibility. Option, of course, to reach for each foot with opposite hands if you can get there. No worries if we can't today. Again, there's no expectation. Just to be present in this moment, appreciating flexibility we have and the micro gains we're making. Good. Pressing our torsos up, stacking the vertebrae, gently coming out of that, digging our feet, the sides and the edges of our feet back into the mat, and we're going to rotate our way all the way back over to the other side so that the opposite leg comes on top, however we get there. Good. We find our pose. Sit bones are connected. We reach our arms up. And we slowly exhale, hinging forward. Seeing what happens in the back of the hip, and the glutes, perhaps even down the IT band of the top leg. We melt gently as our bodies allow. Noticing any different sensations on this side, or perhaps different flexibility, shall we say. Noticing what's going on with our jaw. And if there's tension there that we can let go of, are we clenching our teeth? Processing stress. Perhaps that's an indication that we're pushing too far too fast. Good. Inhaling, pressing ourselves up, stacking the vertebrae, and extending our legs long on the mat. Pointing our toes up, giving the legs a little wiggle. And we haven't done a staff pose this week, so we'll reach our arms over our shoulders, elongating the torso, finding length in the side body, and then hinging forward. Option to a passive hold here, reaching towards the feet or the shins. Option to pulse, whatever feels good. Breaking into the fascia, all those cobwebs that start to stick as we're sedentary. Building up our cartilage. And again, elongating the breath. Creating extra space in our minds for new things to come in. One more big breath here. And we'll slowly stack the vertebrae, wiggling out the feet, rolling the ankles, pointing and flexing, and then drawing the feet in, and we'll lower down into a supported bridge. Slowly lowering the vertebrae, shoulders and head, allowing the lower back to settle in. Maybe walking the feet out, either hip width or to the edge of the mat, and allowing the knees to lower in together. Noticing the contact our bodies make on the mat below. Noticing the rhythm of our breath. lifting the left leg off the mat, wrapping it around the right leg. The right foot is on the outer edge of the mat, and we'll slowly lower our knees towards the left. If we need a block for support, then we need to grab that. We don't want to create too much tension in our lower back. Option to gaze upwards or over to the right. Option to keep our hands at our waist or float them up, whatever feels good. And using our breath as our guide to not be pushing too far too fast. Noticing all the sensations that may be speaking to us in our lower back, our hip, and the outer edge of our leg. Noticing the softness in our faces. Good. Bringing our knees back towards the right. Untwisting and giving ourselves a hug, tucking our knees towards our chest, pressing our lower backs into the mat. And then we float our left foot to the outer edge of the mat, wrapping our right leg around it, and slowly, when we're ready, allowing our knees to lower to the right, listening to our lower back, not pushing too far too fast, keeping our hands on our abdomen or floating them upwards if that's accessible today. Noticing the calm, steady rhythm of breath. If it's not calm and steady, we back off a little bit. Once again, noticing the softness in our faces and our jaws. Noting the sensations in the left side of our body. Two more breaths. And then we'll slowly bring our knees back up to the left. Untwisting, hugging the knees in. Option to curl in like a little ball. Option to keep our shoulders and head on the mat. Pressing our lower backs into the earth. Shifting our weight left to right or finding stillness. Listening to the energy of our body. And slowly floating our legs long, one at a time, bringing them down to the earth, coming into Shavasana or into fetal pose, final resting pose here. Allowing our lower backs to assume their natural curvature. Hands can be on the abdomen or open alongside of the body, whatever feels good. Running through a body scan from head to toe, back to front, starting at the crown of our head and working our way down the back of our skull, into our neck, upper back and shoulders, down through the back, into the hips, the glutes, the hamstrings, calves, and heels. our journey back upwards, the top of the feet, the shins, through the knees and into the thighs, into our hips, our abdomen, our chest and lungs, collarbones, shoulders, down the arms, into the fingers, wrapping around and back up. Through the shoulders, back into the throat, neck, jaw, through the front of the face, into the cheeks, the nose, the eyes, and into the forehead, the whole face, the ears, and back up to the crown of our head. Deep breaths in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth, noticing the lightness and the space we've created in our bodies and minds. Perhaps setting an intention for the days ahead, or at very least being open to a new intention coming to us. Taking as long as we need here to integrate today's practice into our muscle fibers and memory. And when we're ready, we curl up into a small little ball, pressing ourselves up with all the support we need. And bringing our light and gratitude to the days ahead. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.